What's up, y'all? Hope y'all doing good. I'm Anthony K. Thomas and welcome to Wrestling with Rumors. Welcome, everyone. So, before we get into everything that is this week's episode of Wrestling with Rumors, like I say every week, every rumor that I'm about to read to you is exactly what it is. It is a rumor. We can speculate as wildly as we want, but until that rumor is proven true, either by the person the rumor is about or the company itself, they remain what they are, rumors. So with that, let's get into everything that is Wrestling with Rumors. Dave Meltzer mentioned on Wrestling Observer Radio that there is a strong belief that Chris Jericho's AEW contract has extended due to time missed in 2025. I feel that that is exactly what's going on here with the time missed, with other obligations that Chris Jericho had in 2025, other things he was doing in 2025. I'm very confident that the reason why we possibly haven't seen Chris Jericho come back to WWE, if indeed he is coming back to WWE, is that the time added to Chris Jericho's AEW contract. I feel that it's the same thing for Britt Baker, which we haven't seen on AEW television in a very long time, and that if they just not going to use her, and they're just waiting for her contract to expire, like I've said many times before, it's possible. They've also added time to Britt Baker's contract as well. But I keep beating the drum on that when it at least comes to Britt Baker, that if they're not going to use her and they're just keeping her off television, especially for as long as they're keeping her off television, and with Tony Khan answering this question a lot and saying that he's just waiting for the right time. The right time was summer of 2025. The right time there were many right times to bring Britt Baker back last year, and he chose not to bring her back. The right time is now. So anyway, so when it comes to Chris Jericho, I feel that I feel very confident to say and agree with Dave Meltzer when he says that it's more than likely that AEW added time to Chris Jericho's contract for the time that he missed doing other things in 2025. Anyway, we're moving on. So this is another one from Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. While WWE business is doing great, the booking is being done like WWE is struggling right now and pressure due to the unexpectedly poor ticket sales for WrestleMania 42 has led to safer match choices like Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. I don't feel Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton is a safe choice. I feel that it is the kind of match we have been waiting to see since Cody Rhodes made his return to WWE a few years back now. And especially what we saw on this past Friday's episode of SmackDown and how Randy Orton made that turn, returning back to that version of the Viper, a vicious, leave you in a pool of your own blood. The voices are telling me what to do, and I'm listening to every single word they say. Randy Orton. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And a lot of the people in the crowd were cheering for Randy Orton, chanting RKO over and over again. Nonetheless, I don't feel this is a safe match. I feel like this is the match we all wanted to see. I don't feel like there were a lot of people who wanted to see a Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. I feel that there are a lot of people who wouldn't mind seeing that match, just not at a WrestleMania. Maybe on an episode of SmackDown, maybe at a Backlash, maybe at a Clash in Italy type of thing, but not at WrestleMania. And I will sit here and say that my speculating in where I thought it was going to go originally, by reading how it was all looking with Drew McIntyre, I was very off. I was very wrong. But that is the beautiful thing when we speculate about what could happen here on Wrestling with Rumors, is that we're just speculating and we're just going with what we are seeing on television, and it is so fun. But then when it's not predictable and it goes left when you thought they were going to go right, it's part of the love of pro wrestling is like, nice. I'm so glad I was wrong. I mean, it feels good when you're right about something, but it takes away the, oh my God, when you're wrong about something and it goes the complete opposite, and you're like, holy shit. Yeah, it feels good. It feels good. So I don't feel that that was a safe message. And as far as poor ticket sales, I said it once, I said it twice, I said it 3 times, and I'll say it again and again. The tickets are too damn high, and I'm not putting that on WWE. I'm putting that on TKO. They own WWE. They should understand the fan base who are watching the product, who have watched the product long before TKO was even a thing, before they were even a thing. So lower the, and I'm gonna let it out on this one, lower the fucking prices on the tickets. You want to sell out, you want to do better on ticket sales, lower the prices, because the tickets are too damn high. And everything that's going on in the world right now, prices are jacking the F up. There are going to be people who probably won't be able to go to WrestleMania who probably have tickets because gas is too goddamn expensive right now. You know, so anyway, lower the ticket prices. That was so close to just let it all out on that one. We're going to move on from it. The Bella Twins told Access Hollywood they would be a part of WrestleMania 42 next month. I believe that, especially after what we saw on last Friday's episode of SmackDown in that women's tag team championship match between the Irresistible Forces versus Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. They had a match, and it ended in a DQ. As the Bella Twins went after Irresistible Forces after what happened ringside with the Bellas and the Irresistible Forces. So that ended in a DQ, but the Bellas don't care because, as they said, they are next in line. So now they're getting a shot at the Women Tag Team Championships against the Irresistible Forces this coming Friday on SmackDown. So my speculation in that is that match will also end in a DQ with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. They're sitting ringside to watch it go down. Same thing in that matter is going to happen as well, and then that's going to take us to WrestleMania 42, a triple threat match for the Women Tag Team Championships, where you got the Irresistible Forces, you got Alexa and Charlotte Flair, and then you got the Bella Twins. There's your triple threat match for the WWE Tag Team titles at WrestleMania 42. So I feel that that's how that's going to go. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. But I feel like that's how that one's going to go. Before pivoting to Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 42, WWE discussed doing Rhodes versus McIntyre in a Hell in a Cell match per PW Insider. I mean, a Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania 42 between Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. Okay. I see it. I do see it, but I feel that what we've got with Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton just feels a whole lot better. There's so much more history between these two, and it feels like it's getting personal fairly quickly. Especially if we're about like 34 days out from WrestleMania. We're about a month out from WrestleMania. But yeah, I just like how it's going between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. But yeah, a Hell in a Cell would have been cool. But what we got now with Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu, and how I feel that match that's coming up this coming Friday on SmackDown will not end properly. It will end in a DQ or something, and that will lead to a match at WrestleMania, because I feel that Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania is a match that needs to happen. But I feel like we'll get a regular type of match, and then that will take us to a stipulation type match. The consensus, discussing reports about Conan's health on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said He's been in and out of the hospital, mostly in, for about the last 6 weeks. Meltzer said he believed Konnan would address the stipulation soon. Would address the situation soon, and send best wishes. Now, as I've mentioned on here on Wrestling with Rumors, that there was a report about Konnan in the hospital, possibly getting his leg amputated. It was the hospital in San Diego. And based on this being possibly in and out, mostly in the hospital, I just wish him the best in his health and hoping that he will be okay. And we should be hearing something from him soon. It's possible he might address something on an episode of AAA. Or we might see, he might make a video or post something on his social media page about what's going on with him. So we'll keep the eyes and ears open for that. The consensus among PW insiders, WWE sources, is that Obafemi will face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 42. Now, I did a short version of this on a previous episode of Rumor of the Day, and I did say that I wanted to talk a little bit longer on it for Wrestling with Rumors, where I feel that I have a lot more time to discuss it. So, let's discuss it. An Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar is a match we want to see. There has been talk in the past of possibly doing LA Knight or Seth Rollins because of the injury with Braun Breaker, and that it's supposed to be Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins. But that possibly won't happen because Braun Breaker's injury, and he's had surgery and he's on the mend to recovery. So the idea was that possibly either LA Knight or Seth Rollins would get that match, but that doesn't make sense because currently LA Knight and Seth Rollins are all involved in the story with the Vision, but with only 2 members of the Vision healthy, and on the active roster who can actually wrestle, because Braun Breaker is still out. Bronson Reed is out until about July or September with his injury. So I feel that the Usos versus the Vision for the tag team titles is a match that will happen at WrestleMania 42. As far as what WrestleMania 42 looks like for LA Knight and Seth Rollins, it is possible that they will miss WrestleMania 42, like they probably won't have a match at WrestleMania 42. It is possible that's how that goes. Because they might still be involved in WrestleMania and somehow maybe making sure that no funny business, shenanigans happens during that tag match between the Vision and the Usos and keeps everything on the up and fair. It is possible. But I think as far as a match goes, I think LA Knight and Seth Rollins might not have a match for WrestleMania 42 because of the injuries. It sucks. It happens, and it really sucks during this time of the year, WrestleMania season. It does suck. Now, Gunther versus Brock Lesnar is a match I want to see, but if we're playing this out for Brock Lesnar, and it is possible that this is his last run in WWE, I feel that getting to SummerSlam is usually where it stops for Brock Lesnar. I feel that Gunther versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, you have a career killer versus the Beast, and for Gunther to beat Brock Lesnar, and I've said this several times, that for Gunther to beat Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam would essentially have the same feel of what Brock Lesnar did at WrestleMania 30 in beating the streak, the Undertaker streak. Even though I know we've heard the story from Undertaker himself that that streak was not supposed to be defeated at WrestleMania 30, and it just happened. It was just like he was kind of out of it for that. So, and that sucks. But for Brock Lesnar to beat Undertaker to take that streak. Would have that same feel for Gunther to defeat Brock Lesnar, to defeat this beast, to add this to his list of career killer, as a cinch. And calling Gunther the career killer is the same feeling of calling Randy Orton the legend killer. But Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar, that face-to-face they had at the Royal Rumble, that moment, that I feel that was the seed that will fully grow at WrestleMania 42, because Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar is a match we all want to see. As Booker T would always say on NXT or on NXT PLE, no bread, no water, just meat. Absolutely. That's the kind of match this is going to be. So yes, Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 42. Let's freaking go. I am hoping this coming Monday on Raw, when Brock Lesnar shows up, Obafemi comes out and accepts this freaking challenge. I'm hoping that's how it goes. But we'll see how it goes on Monday. According to Fightful Select, people in WWE are impressed with Danhausen with how Danhausen has bounced back after what they are aware was a very bad debut at the Elimination Chamber. Yes, it was bad, it was weird, it was what it was. Not every debut is going to be the best debut, a debut you're hoping for. But anyone that comes popping out of an egg or a casket, and if it's not The Undertaker, and if it's not like The Undertaker making a return to the ring, which we know he wasn't going to, or if it wasn't someone like we thought, or a lot of people expected to be, or thought it was going to be, in a Chris Jericho, then yeah, it's not going to be the best debut. It's really not. But regardless of that, what Danhausen has been doing on TV for both Raw and SmackDown, not having a match yet, I know he will eventually. But as far as what he's been doing backstage, the entertainment value of it, the comedy of it, you are cussed. All of that stuff has been great. Danhausen is a hell of a talent. You know, he did some great things in AEW. AEW didn't utilize him very well. I'm hoping, so far it's going very well for Danhausen in WWE. I'm hoping as they continue to utilize him, he gets added into having matches as well. But so far, outside of that Elimination Chamber debut, it's been going good for Danhausen. Brian Alvarez said on Wrestling Observer Live, he's heard there is confusion within WWE regarding their NXT's Stand and Deliver Premium Live event will air, though there was a mention on Peacock. Now, this past week on social media, Shawn Michaels has confirmed where we will be able to watch Stand and Deliver, and that brings me right into this segue that I want to get into, is the NXT Stand and Deliver update. So hearing it from Shawn Michaels, and then also seeing an ad for Stand and Deliver on this past Friday's episode of SmackDown confirms all of it. That Stand and Deliver will stream live on WWE's YouTube channels. Now, as far as is this going to be the home for all NXT PLEs, is a good question. This particular Stand and Deliver pay-per-view will be free for everyone to watch, as far as I understand. As far as where all PLEs for NXT will go moving forward, by them saying YouTube, YouTube is either going to be the permanent home for all NXT PLEs, or they still haven't been able to work out a deal with either Netflix or ESPN. Now, it makes sense for either one. Now, it makes sense on the NXT. for NXT on the Netflix side of things, because everything WWE as far as PLEs, Raws, SmackDowns, NXTs are all on Netflix internationally. So it would make sense for here in the States to just add NXT PLEs to Netflix as well. That makes sense. It would be it would be a much easier transition for Netflix to move it to Netflix with the NXT PLEs. Now, I would also say ESPN as well, because it adds more money it adds more to what people who are either paying for ESPN to watch the PLEs or are able to watch it for free through their television provider. It adds more to it, because for the most part, a lot of us are only have the ESPN app either to get updated from scores from our favorite teams, and also mostly for the WWE PLEs. So to add NXT PLEs to that as well, it's more for the money, whether it's free for you through your television provider or you're actually paying the $29.99 a month for it. It's more for you're adding more for what you're paying for. So either Netflix or ESPN, it makes sense, but it is possible that it could be YouTube. And if it's YouTube, it's just free for everyone. YouTube does reach a lot of people globally. It would make sense if they're trying to reach a lot of people globally, but it's a question in which you have to ask yourself, is it something WWE, TKO can afford to have NXT PLE shown for free on their YouTube channel? I want to say no, that eventually we'll get a more permanent home for NXT PLEs either on Netflix or ESPN, but it could be the silent number 3 choice, YouTube. So we just have to wait and see how that goes. And last thing I want to add, Roxanne Perez, for those who've been wondering about what happened to Roxanne Perez, especially after the Judgment Day turn on Finn Balor. Now, last time we saw Roxanne Perez was around the Royal Rumble. We haven't seen her since. Roxanne Perez is currently recovering from surgery to remove a benign mass in her back, which caused her significant pain for several months. So she got that taken care of. And finding a mass on your back, that's got to be a scary thing. That's great that she was able to take care of that. It was benign, but still safe and sorry. She got that taken care of. She's healing from that right now. So nothing as far as injuries, like she didn't break any bones or anything. She was just taking care of what sounds like a serious health scare. But she'll be back fairly soon once she is fully recovered and good to go. And with that, this has been Wrestling with Rumors. I appreciate all you for watching, for listening. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can keep up with all new episodes of Wrestling with Rumors. And Rumor of the Day drops. Wrestling with Rumors drops every Sunday. Rumor of the Day is Monday through Saturday. And go ahead and hit that like button, leave a comment. And I appreciate all you for watching, for listening. Hope all you have a good, fun, and safe week. Don't forget to take care of yourselves, and I will see you on that next one. Peace, y'all.